Okay, so in this video, we are going to go over hills and cliffs. So if you see up here, there are actually buttons which allow you to raise the terrain slightly, and it creates hills, which your units can go on and over. So yeah, and this button is literally the exact opposite. It deepens whatever hills you created. It doesn't deeper the already flattened ground, mind you, but yeah, so pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, you could use this to like spice up the terrain a little bit if you want to. We got the mini map, let's expand that. Okay, but this can also be used for other things. Why is it lagging? Oh my god, what the heck, bro? Alright, so this can be used for other things as well, such as cliffs. If you see these two buttons right here, you know that you can paint cliffs. As a beginner, if you're a beginner, this cliff editor may be very challenging to use or even figure out. But essentially, if let's say you're painting a cliff, it's gonna do that. If you do that, you can see there's like a white thing over here. This white thing you don't want, and that's actually gonna show up as black in the, like, if you're actually playing the map. So if you're gonna do a front-facing cliff, like a corner that's going towards the screen, you want to make sure that you do a straight edge like that first, or a straight corner, and then continue on. Don't continue on from here, because then you have this like gap right here. You don't want that. So just do that. I know that cliffs are very confusing for new beginners in the map editing space. I'm gonna do a simple cliff. So I'm now selecting the back button for the cliff, and again, if you see like there's like a gap here, so just want to like try to get rid of that as much as possible. There are also, if you go here, there are cliff sets which allow you to like, it's basically like there to help you fix potential errors. This cliff editor is, I will admit, not the most user-friendly, especially towards new players, but it's pretty gosh darn worth it when you figure out how to use it. There are back cliffs. Oh, that is very interesting. Yeah. So yeah, you can see this is like a corner that goes like out and then in, or sorry, in and then out. But yeah, so this is the back one. There is a little bit of a gap here, although that will not matter too much. The back cliffs are kind of the toughest cliff spots. So really, you could either do something like that, you could do like random patches, or you could probably just do, like, there we go, I'm just gonna continue off. This does require a bit of patience if you're still learning, so just beware. And then you could just, there we go. There's a little bit of a gap here, but that doesn't matter too much, honestly. So, I'm just gonna cover this little corner with this corner piece. There's like a little artifact over here, so I'm just gonna cover that up as best I can. I don't know if I, there we go. Okay, so now that we have our cliff, this is not a full functioning plateau yet, because the bump feature, you can see these white lines. What this indicates, what these white lines, or well, I guess they're squares, they indicate that the terrain needs essentially the depth inside. It's like a hollow plateau, basically. And this white is basically trying to show you the depth. So what you want to do is select the bump tool, and then you want to create bumps in the cliff. There we go. And I will say, again, this is very finicky. It's not the most user-friendly, although it is probably the best we got. So yeah, you gotta be real patient with this. There we go. As you can see, the hills kind of bled over towards the edge of the cliff. If that happens, just try your best to get rid of it. If it gets too out of hand, then just undo a couple times. There we go. it's because I didn't patch that cliff fully. So let me, let me just go ahead and try that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so closing off the gaps is somewhat important after all. So yeah. If you see like things bleeding out of the cliff like that, just undo right away, because if you just keep going without undoing, then there is a limit to the amount of undos you can perform. So there we go, we got a full functioning plateau, right? And yeah, so this is actually you can literally do stuff with it. If you go here, you can actually do some slope set pieces, which actually allow you to go up and down said plateau. Just experiment with that. There we go. It's a bit finicky again. Like, you can see an artifact right here. There's like a straight edge. So just try to patch that up the best you can. It's not going to break the game. It's just for pure aesthetic purposes. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to set one player position to over here. And then I guess the other one's over here. And then I'm going to delete the other ones. There we go. So I'm going to save this as arc test.
Blueprint ready. Yes, sir. Options.
There we go. We can go up and down. This gap right here is not a big deal.
Unit reporting, sir.
And the reason why it's not is because the elevation of this part right here and this part right here are different. So yeah.
Sir, some action. Moving out. Vehicle ready, sir. Let's set up shop.
New construction options.
Ready to go, Commander.
Building.
Securing.
Battle control terminated.
So yeah, that is just a basic overview of cliffs and how to properly utilize them. If you don't create bumps in the cliffs, then your cliffs will not function the way you want to. So yeah.